Just get your mind together and come on across to me. We'll hold hands and we'll watch the sun rise from the bottom of the sea. But first, are you experienced? Have you ever been?
A very great man once said, "I have cast fire upon the world and I am waiting to watch it blaze." I'm going to tell you a little story about what happened to me when I was a child. I must have been 11 years old, would have been, and maybe 12, 11 or 12 years old. And I was in a field. It was the middle of summer. I was in a field and I was just walking through the field, and I had a box of matches in my hand. And I started to strike the matches and throw them up into the air. I was just walking, and I struck another match and I threw it up in the air. And I struck another match and I threw it up into the air. And I think there were about 6 matches that I struck like this, or 7. I think there were 7, about 7 matches. And then I stopped and I turned around. Now, everything we do comes from nature, and I know this now, so it's a very profound thing that I did in this day. I turned around and I saw 7 fires, one after the other behind me. And I thought, oh hell! And I went to the first fire and I put it out. It was easy, you know. And I went to the second fire and I put that one out. That was a bit bigger. And then the third fire, oh my God, this one, oh dear. And then the fourth and the fifth. When I got to the 7th fire, it was so big that there was no way that I was going to ever put it out. And so I just turned and sneaked off. I was only a child. And later on, the fire brigade came and put the fire out. And nobody knew it was me. I shut up. I didn't want to get into trouble. I was only a little one. It was an accident, yeah. It was an accident it was no accident. There are no accidents in the world. And later on in life, I thought about this a number of times in my life. It came back to me. What it meant, because it's such a profound thing to happen to somebody. And what it meant was I would light a number of fires in the world. And the first fires would be small and they would get bigger and bigger and bigger until the last one nobody could put out except the fire brigade, okay? So I feel that this work that I'm doing now is that 7th fire, yeah? And I hope it is, because in the 1960s, we lit a fire then in the 1960s, but it soon went out, yeah, it soon went out. And there have been other movements, like the punk movement tried to light a fire, but it had no philosophy, yeah. It was just anarchy. It knew there was something wrong, but it didn't know how to fix it. Now we've got a revolution going on, and these are individualists as part of this revolution. Now I'm going to get to the first chapter because I'm already starting. Yeah, and the first wing. How does individualism fly? Yeah, what are the wings it flies on? Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at from capitalism through socialism towards individualism and the return of art. Okay. Now, there's a movement, an individualist movement going on in the world at the moment, and the people don't really know that they're part of that individualist movement, although it's been created organically. Nature has created this movement. And Donald Trump was the start, really, of this movement, the start to fight against the old system of crony capitalism. Yeah. And so what Donald Trump was the good king appeared. Yeah. He wasn't going to have any of this nonsense going on anymore. And so immediately the forces of evil attacked him and cancelled him, and you can see the attack going on now. And anybody who's been attacked and cancelled, you know that they are part of the individualist movement. Okay. They haven't joined a group or created an organisation, nothing. They don't want to do that. They're just purely, they won't do it, they're purely individualists. Tucker Carlson is an individualist. Okay. Joe Rogan is an individualist. Jordan Peterson is an individualist. That Russell Brand is an individualist. Many people in the world now are individualists. There are millions and millions of them. Yeah. All the people who support the views of those. All the people who are making YouTube videos about sailing around in little boats around the ocean. These are individualists. Okay. They're all coming to one mind, a consensus of one mind about the state of the system and the way forward. And it's not necessary to do anything about it. It's just going to come out naturally. Like that big fire that burned, it's just going to burn and burn and burn, and just, it will consume everything in the end. Yeah. Now, there was a revolution that came in the 1970s, a move towards socialism. Britain got a Labour government, and social principles were started to be experimented with, of the national health system, the dole, okay, the old age pensions for all. This was a socialist movement, okay, caring, the government, looking at creating a government which would be more caring about the welfare of the people. Okay. Now, the socialist movement can go to extremes, and all movements do go to extremes. And that extreme was reached when the government, instead of becoming caring, it becomes an overbearing parent. Okay. Now, other parts of the world have gone through the same process. So in China, they went through the socialist revolution and communist revolution. In Russia, they've done the same. They've gone from communism to socialism. They're really a socialist country now, Russia. The German Democratic Republic, or East Germany, that was a socialist country. The EU is a socialist country. It's got socialism as it's concerned about the welfare of the people. It says it is, but it's overdeveloped now. It's overdeveloped. And it's gone too far into the group organisation and too far away from the individualist. Okay, and all freedom lies in the individual. There's no freedom anywhere else. There's no freedom. There's no group freedom, really. The only group freedom you can have is if all of the individuals are able to express themselves fully. This is why it's so important, the concept of free speech. And it doesn't mean free speech for organisations. No. Organisations can't have free speech. That's a big error in the law in America, for example, that organisations can have free speech. They give them the same rights as humans. No. Organisations cannot. Free speech for organisations is propaganda. That's what it is. Only individuals can have free speech. And if you're an organisation, you have journalists working within the organisation, you can't tell them that they can't say what they feel like saying, like I presume they did with Tucker Carlson. You can't do that, okay, because that's like propaganda, yeah, it's propagandizing and controlling the speech of the people. And it's not allowed, it's just simply a breach of the law of nature. And anybody who comes across that just has to walk out of it. You just have to get out, you can't be in it. And now we have Elon Musk, who is saying that if you post a tweet on Twitter and you lose your job over it, somebody says you said something and now we're going to take your job away, Elon Musk will give an unlimited amount of funds to the defense, legal expenses of anybody, to an unlimited amount. Now that's part of the work that's going on here, because that's coming out of the Lionsgate, which is the 7th, 8th, 9th of August. It's basically when the highest powers are available to bring these new changes through, new understandings, new revelations. Okay, Elon Musk got a revelation. He woke up in the night and he said, I'm going to do this. You know, the same way as Einstein woke up and it's E equals mc squared. It wasn't Einstein. Einstein didn't make it up. It just came to him, you know. It was given to him from the divine, the ancestral realms, yeah? Nothing's wasted on this earth. And so if you think the wisdom that's made within me, within you, within everybody else is going to be wasted, no. That wisdom is carried forward in the ancestral realms. When we die, it doesn't die to the world, it doesn't die. That wisdom continues. Even if all the books disappeared, that wisdom would still be available through the Akashic record. Okay. It's just another word for it, that's all it is. From the muse. Okay, and that leads us to the return of art. It's funny how I write this, I don't know, how's it going to get to the return of art? Well, you can only have proper art. Proper art is creation, and fake art is copying. And AI is the ultimate in copying. The word AI is very interesting because words are electricity, and if you turn the other way around, you get the opposite word. Like live and evil is the word reversed, turned around. And AI is I, I. And I means fear. That's what I means, fear. And its opposite, ear. That is the Egyptian word for God the Creator, God or nature. And so I is the opposite of nature, right? It's anti-nature, I. AI is anti-nature. It's that simple, really. If you understand it, you won't go there. Now art comes from nature, and art comes from the muse. And you can't have art without the lady. The lady is the muse of the artist. The artist, once he's connected to his divine other half, he's then able to create through, he gets connected to the Akashic record, to the order, the higher dimension of nature, in which reside Shambhala, the ancestral realms, and everything like that. The happy hunting grounds of the Native Americans. No civilization that walked the earth understood it any different than what I'm saying to you. All of them. Every single one of them, including our own Greek, the origins of our culture. If you go back, every single civilization that came out from the planet had the same understanding about the ancestral realms, the demons, the angels. Everything was the same right the way through. If you can go to Buddhism, Hinduism, Christianity, they've got their angels, they've got their devil and everything. All of them have a commonality. The Native American Indians, the Maori people of New Zealand, all over the Pacific Ocean. The South Americans, the Mayans, It's all one. The truth is universal. And if you're sitting there saying, oh no, none of this is true, well, you're just in a little fire of your own. You haven't joined the big one that's engulfing the whole world, because it's open now, it's coming. And art will return. This is the beginning of art, to be in connection with the muse, with the ancestral realms, with the one truth that is, everything that is. And out of that nothingness comes everything, and that is the power of creation. I'll leave you on that. Thanks for watching.